right, longer, still louder.
My name is Steve Hogan. I am Mayor of the City of Aurora. First to speak this morning will be Governor John Hickenlooper. Governor?
All right, so obviously there are no words that can express the intensity of this tragedy. Our hearts are broken as we think about the families and friends of the victims of this senseless tragedy. Really, one thing I do hope people can keep, this is the act apparently of a very deranged mind. This is a safe city and a safe state and a safe country. And we need to recognize that we can't allow people that are aberrations of nature to take away the joys and freedoms that we enjoy. And again, for the victims and their families, they should know that President Obama called Mayor Hogan this morning. They called me, and I think his words are the same. There's not one of us that doesn't read or hear this story, certainly anyone who has children, and think about it being your child in that movie theater, or your cousin's child, or your neighbor's child. And that reality makes the pain and the grief too intense for words, but we can't let it keep us from our lives. So we will, in Colorado, is a state that has always come together and supported the entire community. Aurora is one of the great cities, not just in Colorado, but in this country, and they will, without question, they have the right leadership, and Police Chief Oates and Mayor Hogan, that we will come back stronger than ever than this, although it's obviously going to be a very hard process. So with that, I'll turn it back to Mayor Hogan.
Thank you, Governor. Clearly, this is a tragic day for this community and for this city. But as tragic as it is for the community and the city, it is an absolute horror for all of those people who were in those theaters and their families. Our hearts go out to them. We will always wish that no matter how much we do now, that we had done more. We need to thank everybody who responded as quickly as they did. The police department, fire department, the hospital staffs in the emergency rooms, everyone who addressed this situation deserves to be thanked. I want to thank also all of the jurisdictions in the metropolitan area that have contacted me this morning, offering whatever help we need, whether it's from Denver or Arapahoe County or the state of Colorado or the United States government. We've taken a blow today, but we will get back on our feet and we will move ahead. If I can say anything to our citizens, and particularly to those folks who have kids, no matter whether they're small or teenagers, it's talk to them. Talk to them. They're going to feel this, and it's going to come out. And we have to do our duty as parents and as civic officials and as caregivers, whether it's Aurora Mental Health or any other organization. We've got to talk to our kids Let them know that this is an isolated instance. It's tragic, it's horrible, but it's isolated. And we've got to talk about it. It's a tough day. I'm joined back here by a number of the Aurora City Council members, state senators, state representatives, other members of the community. We will all come together. We'll survive this, but there's no way around it. It's tough. You can't have that many people die and that many more people be injured in an absolutely senseless situation and not see it as anything but tough. With that, I'd like to introduce Police Chief Dan Oates.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Also joining me, us here today, besides the Mayor and the Governor, is the United States Attorney John Walsh, District of Colorado, Mr. Jim Yacone, the Special Agent in charge of the FBI in Colorado, and Carol Chambers, the District Attorney for the 18th Judicial District. I will give you a briefing. I will ask District Attorney Chambers to make some comments, and Mr. Yacone from the FBI. And you'll have to excuse me, but I've got a lot of notes here. There's a lot of information to impart to you. Our suspect's name is James Egan Holmes. Middle name E-A-G-E-N, last name H-O-L-M-E-S. Date of birth 12/13 of 87. He resides at 1690 Paris Street in Aurora, apartment 10. I'll be discussing the situation at his apartment in a few minutes. His history with the Aurora Police Department is one traffic summons for speeding in October of 2011. We have no other criminal history on Mr. Holmes. This event began at 0039, so 39 minutes after midnight. The first calls came into 911. I'm told by a colleague, you could describe it as hundreds of calls coming in. Within roughly 1 minute to a minute and a half, police officers were on scene and apprehended Mr. Holmes in the back of the theater. There were approximately 25 officers on scene within minutes. They spent, besides searching the theater, a good portion of their energy on taking victims and placing them immediately in police cars and driving them to local area hospitals. In the end, with the assistance of our colleagues in law enforcement in this community, there were around 200 officers on scene here. Mr. Holmes was apprehended outside a white Hyundai parked in the back of the theater, and he was apprehended with 3 weapons in the car, and one was left at the scene inside the theater. The weapons are as follow: an AR-15 assault rifle, a Remington 870 shotgun, 12-gauge shotgun, and a .40 caliber Glock handgun. We believe those 3 weapons were used in the scene, and another .40 caliber Glock handgun was found in the car. We're not sure if that was also used in the scene. I imagine I will be asked how many rounds were fired. My answer is we have no capability right now of calculating that number. There were many, many rounds fired. Our best available count on injuries as of right now is that 71 people were shot, and that 12 are deceased. 2 died at area hospitals, and 10 are deceased in the crime scene at this time, and we are making best efforts to identify and remove those 10. There are many critical patients, and I'm not in a position to give you any update on the 59 who were injured. We believe that as part of this assault, Mr. Holmes set off 2 devices to distract the crowd. They ignited in some form and released some sort of irritant or smoke. And we know that his car was parked nearby in the back. Victims were taken to 6 area hospitals: University of Colorado Hospital, Swedish Hospital, Denver Health, Rose Medical Center, the Medical Center of Aurora, Children's Hospital, and Parker Adventist. We are not looking for any other suspects. We are confident that he acted alone. However, we will do a thorough investigation to be absolutely sure that that is the case, but at this time we are confident that he acted alone. During the shooting in the one particular theater, theater number 9, some rounds penetrated into an adjoining theater, and we know at least one person was hit inside the adjoining theater. The suspect was dressed all in black. He was wearing a ballistic helmet, a tactical ballistic vest, ballistic leggings, a throat protector and a groin protector, and a gas mask, and black tactical gloves. We had over 50 detectives respond to the scene, including the 150 to 200 police officers and deputies, and over 50 victim advocates to work with family members. And all our federal partners are here, and we deeply, deeply appreciate their help. We've asked the community if there are any tips, any observances, any witnesses to this event that we haven't already contacted, that they call our tip line, 303-739-1862. In addition, for those in the community who feel traumatized by this event, we have a hotline being offered for Aurora Mental Health for counseling. The phone number is 303-617-2300. The crime scene is rather large. It includes numerous cars in the parking lot. We're doing our best to get them released to the owners of those cars as soon as possible, but we will be here for some time. With regard to the residents, Mr. Holmes lives at 1690 Paris Street. We responded up there fairly quickly after we identified him, and our investigation determined that his apartment is booby-trapped with various incendiary and chemical devices and apparent tripwires. So we have an active and difficult scene there. It may be resolved in hours or days. We simply don't know how we're going to handle that. I will tell you that we've evacuated residents to a safe distance, and it includes 5 buildings in the area being evacuated. We've been asked how many folks were in the theater. We can tell you there were 4 showings of the Batman movie. All of them were sold out, and we have interviewed close to 200 witnesses. As to how many people were in the theater, that's the best I can tell you. A caution about social media. Please, as responsible journalists, be very careful. We are analyzing all social media that is out there about this event, and I can tell you that we are already finding that there are a lot of pranks. There's even someone who called a national media station and represented to be me. Our colleagues in the adjoining mall have closed the mall for the day out of a cooperation and spirit of cooperation with our investigation. With that, I'd like to introduce District Attorney Carol Chambers to make a few remarks. And after she makes some remarks, Special Agent in Charge Yacone will make some remarks, and then I will take some questions.
Good morning. I first want to emphasize what a tremendous response there has been from law enforcement and especially from the Aurora Police Department to this incident. I want to thank the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Attorney General's Office for their support. With this many victims, we have 2 concerns. One is providing information that they need and providing resources that they need. We will, at this point in time, victims should be contacting the Aurora Police Department, and they should be looking for resources on the Aurora Police Department website. As the case goes to court next week, they can contact. We have set up a contact email account so that we can get information out as quickly as possible. We also have resources available on our website. And I want to say that the Aurora Mental Health Center has agreed to stay open 24 hours a day for this weekend. If people may feel fine now and they may have a problem tomorrow, they may have a problem next week, they may have a problem several months down the line, but they should seek some counseling or resources if they've been victims. It's to be expected. If there are financial issues, that should not stop them. They should contact us for financial resources. So we want to make sure we are getting out whatever whatever our victims in this case need. So with that, I'll turn it over to Special Agent.
Good afternoon. I just want to re-emphasize what Chief Oates has already talked about. We've had a very tightly integrated investigative response. The FBI currently has approximately 100 folks on scene, closely integrated with the Aurora Police Department, as do other federal agencies. So the ATF as well is here in force with more than 25 folks. We are working on interviews. We are also collecting evidence, and we are trying to run leads that span beyond Colorado at this point. I want to emphasize, at this point, we do not see a nexus to terrorism, but we are continuing to look, and we are being as cautious as possible with the investigation as we move forward. So the Joint Terrorism Task Force, representing at least 23 federal, state, and local agencies, is on site. And again, we are lashed up tightly with the Aurora Police Department and working in a very coordinated fashion. I'll be followed by Chief Oates, and we'll be prepared to take questions.
Again, I thank all our colleagues in law enforcement for their support today. I'll make a note that Senator Udall has joined us, and we're very appreciative of all the support from all the community leaders who are standing behind me. With that, I will take a modest